Hello everyone, I hope you are having a good day or night. My name is Blagorodna and I'm wishing you the warmest welcome to a new perspective, a podcast that talks about gender-based violence. Today we will be joined by our guest Emma to address this sensitive yet widespread issue about new forms of cyber violence, a widespread reality. Hello Emma, thank you for being with us.
Hello, thank you for the invitation.
Can you tell us, in your opinion, what is cyber violence? What type of cyber violence exists?
Cyber violence is any form of violence, meaning psychological, emotional, or sometimes even threats of physical violence that is perpetrated or performed through digital technologies. This includes smartphones, social media, dating apps, and gaming platforms. It's important to understand that the harm is very real, even if it doesn't leave physical scars. The types are numerous and evolving, but some of the most common include cyber harassment and cyber stalking, meaning the relentless sending of threatening or abusive messages or using technology to monitor, track, and intimidate someone. The second one is non-consensual image sharing. This is about sharing intimate or sexual images or even videos of a person without their consent. This is a devastating form of abuse aimed at humiliation and control. The next one is doxing, which is publishing someone's private, identifying information online, like their home address, workplace, or phone number with malicious intent, putting them at serious risk. Then we have impersonation and identity theft. This means creating fake profiles to damage a person's reputation, harass their friends, or scam others in their name. Then hate speech and online mob attack, which is coordinated, targeted abuse against a person based on their gender, sexual orientation, race, or other characteristics. Then we have tech-enabled abuse in intimate relationships. This is a huge one. It includes a partner demanding consent, access to your passwords, using spyware to track your location, or controlling who you can and cannot talk to online.
Why is recognition and prevention of cyber violence important?
So recognition and prevention of cyber violence are very important for three key reasons. First, the scale and impact. Cyber violence can follow a victim 24/7. There is no safe space like home anymore. The abuse is in your pocket, on your screen. This leads to severe psychological consequences like anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress, and etc. Second is a getaway and an extension of offline violence. We must stop seeing the online and offline world as separate. Very often, cyber violence is used by an abusive partner to maintain control. It can also escalate into physical stalking or even assault, especially when doxing or severe threats are involved. Third, social harm. When online abuse against women and other vulnerable groups is threatened as a normal or ignored, it makes people afraid to speak up. It forces them off the internet and stops them from taking part in online life. It's direct attack on digital citizenship and equality.
Fourth is about economic and professional harm. Cyber violence doesn't have personal impact. It has impact on career. Targeted online mob attacks or reputation-destroying impersonation can lead to job loss, disrupted professional opportunities, and finance pressure. For entrepreneurs, public figures, or freelancers whose livelihoods depend on their online presence, this abuse is a direct assault on their economic security and autonomy. Preventing it is, therefore, also an economic imperative, protecting people's right to work and participate in the digital economy safely. Finally, and perhaps most fundamentally, is about shaping norms for the next generation. Young people are growing up in a world where digital interaction is native. If we allow cyber violence to be normalized or dismissed as just online drama, we're setting a dangerous precedent for what is acceptable behavior. Proactive prevention through comprehensive digital literacy education that teaches empathy, consent, and respectful communication online is crucial, is about building a healthier digital culture from the ground up. By recognizing and actively working to prevent cyber violence, we aren't just addressing immediate harm, we are actively building a more just, equitable, and human digital world for everyone to inherit. The choices we make now in policy, platform design, and social attitudes will define the health of our shared online spaces for decades to come.
How can we recognize cyber violence?
So recognizing it starts with understanding that it's not just the internet or drama. It's about a pattern or behavior that causes fear, distress, or harm. Look for patterns of control. For example, if someone is being forced to share their passwords, are they having to justify every like, comment, or friend online? This is definitely a red flag. Next, identify unwanted and repetitive contact. A few nasty comments might be trolling. Hundreds of threatening messages or constant creating of new accounts to contact someone after being blocked is definitely cyber harassment. Then you need to understand the impact, not just the intent. If a person feels scared, humiliated, or threatened, that is a sign of violence, regardless of what the perpetrator claims their intent was. And then we have, and last, trust your instincts. If you see a friend becoming withdrawn, anxious after using their phone, or even deleting their social media accounts suddenly, check it on them. They might be experiencing something they're too ashamed or scared to name.
Watch for digital withdrawal. A person experiencing abuse might suddenly stop posting photos, sharing opinions, or participating in group chats they once loved. They're not just taking a break, they may be retreating for safety. If someone who was active online goes completely silent, it could be a signal. Listen for minimizing language. Often, targets themselves downplay the abuse because it feels shameful or confusing. They might say, "Oh, it's just this troll again," or "My ex is just being annoying online." If they mention something troubling but quickly brush it off, that's a cue to gently ask more. Look at the community response. Sometimes the abuse isn't just from one person, but is enabled by a group. Are others laughing along with the cruel jokes, sharing someone's private information further, or staying silent when they see harassment? A toxic community environment that permits or encourages this behavior is a part of the problem. Recognizing it means seeing the whole ecosystem, not just the main aggressor. By expanding our view, we see that cyber violence leaves traces not just on a victim's devices, but in their behavior, their time, and their community. When we learn to spot these signs, we become better equipped to offer support and say, "I see what's happening, this isn't okay, and you're not alone." Recognizing cyber violence isn't just about the target seeing it. It's also about us, friends, family, colleagues, knowing the signs so we can help.
Can you tell us about some European directives on this issue?
Absolutely. The most significant recent development in the EU Directive on Combating Violence Against Women and Domestic Violence, which was formally adopted in 2024. This is a landmark piece of legislation because it specifically criminalizes several forms of cyber violence across the entire European Union. Before this, there was the Directive on Combating the Sexual Abuse and Sexual Exploitation of Children, which addresses online grooming and the distribution of child sexual abuse material. The new directive builds on this by focusing specifically on violence against women, filling a massive legal gap.
In your opinion, to what extent do European countries comply with these directives?
So this is the crucial next step. The new directive sets a high standard, but it is now up to the member states to transpose it into their national laws. Right now, some countries have strong laws against online harassment, but many others do not. The challenge is ensuring consistent implementation. There is a need for adequate training, proper resources, and victim support. So, the directive provides a powerful framework, but the real work of compliance is just beginning.
Could you share some advice with our audience?
Of course. My advice for everyone, whether they're a potential victim, a friend, or just an online citizen, And if you're experiencing, you're not to blame. Document everything, report and block, and seek support. For all of us as a community, be part of the solution, the power of belief, and definitely spread awareness. The digital world is our new public square. We all have a right to be there safely and without fear.
For all of us as a community, that active role is our most powerful tool. But let's just get even more specific. Practice the pause before you share, before you retweet, share a screenshot, or comment on a potentially sensitive post. Then pause. Ask yourself, am I amplifying a harmful narrative or exposing someone to a mob? Sometimes the most supportive action is to not spread the content further, even in outrage. Then promote safer spaces. For example, if you're in online groups, gaming communities, or workplace chats, encourage and help enforce clear, compassionate community guidelines. A culture of respect is built by many small actions. Support moderators who take abuse seriously. And finally, a word on prevention. Educate early. Have open, non-judgmental conversations with the young people in your life about digital consent, respect, and what healthy online interactions look like. Teach them not just how to use technology, but how to protect themselves and be kind in digital spaces. We build a safer future by shaping these norms today. And remember, our online safety is a collective effort. It's not just about personal defense, but about building digital communities where empathy is the default and where abuse is met with a united front of support, not silence. The digital world is our new public square. We all have a responsibility to help make it a place where everyone can participate safely, freely, and without fear.
Thank you so much for listening, and a special thanks to our guest for helping us dive deeper into this important issue.
Thank you for raising awareness on this important issue.
Thank you for being here. Now, in our next episode, we will dive deeper in the topic gender-based violence and the LGBTEQ+ community.